In 1999, a small Italian company nobody had heard of unveiled a car called the Zonda, priced at around $280,000. In May 2026, a one-off version of that same lineage, the Zonda Unica, crossed the auction block with estimates between $11 and $14 million. That's not a rare, lucky outlier. Special Zonda editions routinely trade in the $15 to $20 million range today. From $280,000 to $20 million on the same basic car across roughly a quarter century. Here's the detail that should actually stop you, though, because it's stranger than the multiple. Pagani doesn't call its production facility a factory. They call it an atelier, an artist studio. There's no assembly line, no robots, no cars moving down a conveyor belt. Each vehicle sits in its own individual bay, surrounded by parts made specifically for it, worked on by hand by specialists who will spend, by some estimates, 10,000 hours or more bringing a single car into existence. And in the strangest twist of all, Pagani will sometimes take a car it built years ago, bring it back into that atelier, and rebuild it into an entirely different, more valuable car with a new name for the same original owner. So the question this video actually answers isn't, is a Pagani a good investment? The auction results already scream that answer. The real question is, what exactly are you buying when you hand Horacio Pagani a check? Because it clearly isn't just a car. And once you understand what it actually is, the 10,000-hour build times and the $20 million auction results stop looking insane and start looking like the predictable result of a business that never really sells you a finished object at all. Here's the idea that makes sense of everything else about this company. A normal car manufacturer sells you a finished product and closes the transaction the moment you drive away. Pagani sells you something closer to a standing relationship, one the company can reopen, revisit, and even rewrite years after you've already taken delivery. The clearest proof of this is something almost no other car company on Earth does. Pagani will take an existing customer's older Zonda, bring it back into the atelier, and rebuild it into a completely different specification, sometimes under a completely different name. A Zonda that left the factory years ago as one configuration can return to Modena and come out the other side reborn, genuinely transformed, not merely serviced, as something the market treats as an entirely new, more valuable car. That's not a restoration. Restorations return a car to its original state. This is the opposite. Pagani reopening a file it never considered closed and writing the next chapter of a car that already had an owner, already had a history, and already had a name. No mainstream manufacturer does this because no mainstream manufacturer thinks of a completed sale as an open relationship. Rolls-Royce will build you an extraordinary one-off coach-built car, but once it's delivered, the file closes. They've been explicit that those pieces will never be replicated or revisited. Pagani's file never really closes. Horacio Pagani has described his own customers as essentially his true employer, the people the entire creative process ultimately answers to indefinitely, not just for the duration of a single build. Before the money makes sense, you need to understand what you're actually paying for physically, because Pagani's own choice of language here is doing real work, not just marketing. Pagani produces somewhere around 50 cars a year across every model line combined, Huayra, Utopia, and whatever remains of Zonda-related projects. Total production since the company's founding in 1998 is measured in the hundreds, not the thousands. Every single car is assembled in its own dedicated bay by small teams of specialists, not on a moving line. The company has reported spending 69,400 hours on research and development in a single recent year alone, 11% of total turnover reinvested straight back into the process of making the next car better than the last one, an extraordinary ratio for a manufacturer this size. Even small details most companies would stamp out by machine, the model badge, the logo plate, are made by hand, reportedly taking hours to complete on their own. This is the same logic we've seen at Rolls-Royce's Goodwood, but pushed further, because at Pagani there isn't really a non-bespoke tier to begin with. Every single car, even the standard configuration, already involves the kind of hand-built, client collaborative process that Rolls-Royce reserves specifically for its most elite commissions. Pagani doesn't have an ordinary product line sitting below the bespoke tier. The bespoke process is the product line. Owners aren't kept at arm's length from that process either. Serious clients are invited into the atelier during their own car's build, walking the same individual bays described earlier, watching carbon fiber laid up by hand, and interiors assembled like fine watches, and, for many, developing a genuine personal relationship with Horacio Pagani himself. That's a remarkable thing to say about the founder of a company whose cars now clear 8 figures at auction. Most manufacturers at any price point insulate their founder from individual customers entirely. Pagani has built accessibility to its own chief designer into the product itself, and that accessibility is precisely what makes the later rebuild and rename projects possible. They're not a transaction initiated by a form on a website. They come from a relationship the company chose to keep alive. Within that atelier model, there's still real variation in price and rarity, and it's worth mapping quickly. The entry point today is the Huayra Coupe, running roughly $2.5 to $3.5 million, with the Roadster and the track-focused Huayra R sitting in a similar band. The Utopia, Pagani's newest model line, starts around $3.8 million and climbs toward $5 million for the hardcore Huayra BC. Above that, low-volume specialty road cars like the Imola and Codalunga run $8 to $12 million, and at the very top sits the Zonda name itself, technically discontinued as a production model, but kept alive through exactly the kind of rebuild and rename projects described earlier, with the rarest specific editions like the Cinque, the Tricolor, and the HP Barchetta trading at $15 to $20 million or more. Notice what that structure actually means. The single most expensive tier in the entire Pagani lineup isn't a new model at all. It's old cars reborn.
Let's get concrete, because the appreciation here is some of the most extreme in this entire genre of video. That original 1999 Zonda price of roughly $280,000 now looks almost like a rounding error against what the lineage commands today. A 2006 Zonda Riviera sold for $10.1 million at auction. A 2014 Zonda LM Roadster fetched over $11 million. The Zonda 760 LM Roadster holds a public auction record of just over $11 million, and the Zonda Unica, freshly crossing the block in May 2026, carried pre-sale estimates of $11 to $14 million for what is, at its core, still the same basic architecture that launched at under $300,000 a quarter century earlier. Even the more ordinary recent cars tell the same story at a smaller scale. A 10-year-old Huayra, Unit 93 of just 100 built, with only around 2,300 miles on it, recently changed hands for $3.19 million, comfortably above where these cars started. This isn't one lucky outlier skewing the average, it's the pattern across essentially the entire lineup, new and old. Let's make the tier structure concrete, because the economics here diverge sharply depending on which one you choose. Buyer 1 buys a new Huayra today, configured realistically at around $3 million. This is Pagani's most accessible entry point, still built entirely by hand in an individual bay, still involving real collaboration with the atelier, but without the decades of relationship history that unlocks the company's rarest projects. Based on how prior Huayras have behaved on the secondary market, that 10-year-old low-mileage example selling above its original price, this buyer has real reason to expect their car to hold or exceed its purchase price over a long hold, assuming careful use and documented maintenance. It's a genuinely strong position. It is not, however, positioned anywhere near the $20 million outcomes we've discussed, because those outcomes belong to a different, older, rarer category entirely. Buyer 2 owns an original era Zonda, purchased new decades ago for a small fraction of today's money, and has maintained an active relationship with the atelier ever since. Regular contact, factory servicing despite the parts scarcity challenge, genuine closeness to the company. When Pagani eventually approaches this owner about a rebuild, transforming their car into something like a 760 spec or a Barchetta-inspired one-off, the resulting car can command multiples of what any new Huayra buyer will ever see, precisely because it combines original-era rarity with a completely fresh, factory-executed specification. This buyer didn't just purchase a car decades ago, they preserved a relationship long enough for the company to eventually offer them a second act. Same mark, same starting instinct, buy something extraordinary and hold it, but one path tops out in the low millions and the other tops out in the double-digit millions, and the entire difference comes down to relationship depth over time, not purchase price at the outset.
In line with everything else on this channel about hypercars at this level, running costs on a Pagani are close to a footnote against the purchase price. But there's one genuine risk here that doesn't apply to most of the other cars we've covered. Because Zonda production officially ended years ago and Pagani never built these cars in meaningful volume to begin with, parts scarcity is a real and growing concern for owners of the older cars, precisely the segment commanding the highest prices at auction. Servicing a Zonda increasingly depends on the factory's willingness and capacity to support a car it built in tiny numbers decades ago, which is part of why the rebuild and rename program matters financially as well as sentimentally. It's effectively Pagani's own mechanism for keeping its oldest, rarest cars alive and serviceable on its own terms, rather than leaving owners to fend for themselves with a discontinued platform. Beyond that specific risk, the routine costs, insurance, storage, detailing, behave the way they do on every multi-million-dollar hypercar on this channel. Rio, in absolute terms, irrelevant relative to the asset itself. Same badge, two genuinely different relationships with the company behind it. The bad outcome. You buy a Pagani purely as a transaction, configure it, take delivery, and treat the relationship with the atelier as finished the moment the car arrives. You still likely hold an appreciating asset, because broadly this mark has been extraordinarily forgiving of that approach. But you've left real value on the table by treating a company that explicitly wants an ongoing collaboration as a one-time vendor. And if your specific car is a Zonda-era model, you're now managing parts scarcity risk somewhat at arm's length from the one entity best positioned to solve it for you. The good outcome. You treat the purchase as the opening move it actually is, staying close to the atelier, participating in the culture Pagani has built around ownership, and remaining the kind of client Orazio Pagani himself might eventually invite back for exactly the kind of rebuild that turns a good car into a legendary one. You're not just holding an appreciating object, you're maintaining a relationship with the one organization that can keep reopening the file on your car's story, adding chapters that a purely transactional owner will never have access to.
None of this is really irrational, even at its most extreme. At the level of wealth required to consider any of this, the difference between a $3 million Huayra and a $20 million rebuilt Zonda isn't really about the money at all. It's about being close enough to one of the last true owner-designers left in this industry that your own car's story can still be rewritten by the person who conceived the entire idea of art and science combined in a single object. Horacio Pagani built his entire company on a Renaissance-era belief, borrowed explicitly from Leonardo da Vinci, that art and engineering were never really separate disciplines. Buying into that isn't a spreadsheet decision, it's buying into the closest thing the modern car industry has to a genuine, single-artist creative practice, one where the artist is still alive, still working, and still willing occasionally to pick your car back up and finish telling its story. There's a structural reason this works financially too, and it's worth naming directly. Pagani doesn't build its own engines. Every Pagani since the very first Zonda has run on a Mercedes-AMG V12, a partnership dating back to the mid-1990s, with AMG developing bespoke turbocharged variants specifically for later models that exist in no other production car. That arrangement quietly does something important for the economics. It means Pagani's tiny artisan-scale operation never had to absorb the astronomical cost of developing its own engine program from scratch, freeing essentially all of the company's own capital and craft hours to go toward the parts of the car that actually differentiate one Pagani from another: the carbon titanium structure, the hand-finished bodywork, the individually toleranced components. The scarcity you're paying for isn't diluted by having to also fund a mass-market engineering department. Almost the entire company exists purely to do the bespoke part. So, can a Pagani make you money? The auction record says overwhelmingly yes, with some of the most extreme appreciation multiples of any car we've covered on this channel. But the real story was never really about the return. It's about what kind of object you were actually buying. Not a finished car, but an open file. One a company that calls itself an atelier, not a factory, can reopen years later and rewrite, turning your car's story into one neither of you had fully written yet on the day you first took delivery. That's the trick hiding in plain sight behind every Pagani auction headline. The number was never really about the car. It was about how much of an ongoing, living relationship with one of the last true artist engineers in this industry that number actually buys, and whether you understood, the day you signed, that the file was never really going to close.